What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Wager Alarm live stream. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. And wow, we're closing the doors on week 4 and looking ahead to week 5. Craig, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing well. I know that we got a big week ahead of us for sure, but my gosh, last week was our first tough week of the college and pro football season. After such a tremendous start, we really took one on the chin, I guess. That's a nice way to put it. It was a very, very tough week, but that's going to happen. I don't get too up. I don't get too down. I know it's a long season, and quite frankly, especially in the Super Contest, I was really worried after seeing some of Saturday's results that, my gosh, are we just going to really be on the wrong side? But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think we survived. Maybe our worst weekend of the year, hopefully.
We went 3-2 in the Super Contest.
I don't accept anything less than 4-1 or 5-0, Howard. That's the only way that I see it.
Well, you're not allowed to have that when we go 0-4 in our college picks, right? That was just, listen, we went with the same, our process is the same. One of the things, though, that we didn't do the same, and I'm curious as to your thoughts about this, does it matter that we went from looking at the Western Kentuckys and the Western Michigans to all of a sudden it was like LSU and Wisconsin and going up against Georgia with Arkansas? Like, do we bring it back to the smaller schools? Do we have better beads on that kind of information?
Well, I mean, it's a week-to-week thing. Again, when you're going to have an unranked opponent versus a ranked opponent and you're going to be following along that, then it's always going to be a bigger school in general. So it just kind of depends on the week. I usually don't subscribe to anything in particular. It's just the way that I feel that things are going to go. But I will say that while we were very well deserving of losing all the games, for sure, I will say that. In particular, we can review them real quick. Wisconsin was a terrible pick at home against Michigan. That was just a disaster. That was just a pick that should have never been made. As we go, LSU was up 19-10 on Auburn on Saturday night. Auburn came back to win that game. I mean, I feel bad because they lost the game outright. It's not like it was a good pick, but it didn't go the way that I thought. Army was down 14-0. I mean, that's a small school. I mean, Army was down 14-0 like before you even turn the TV on.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like those things are going to happen. I don't know. I mean, it's a fair question that you're asking. That's for sure. Can you get a better lean when things are happening on games that aren't as public? And I definitely think that's a fair assessment. But again, it's a week-to-week thing. I don't necessarily put too much into that. And again, the dynamics completely change with just one win out of the 4. Like if just one of those won, it's 1-3. All of a sudden, you get back at 3-1 the next week, and it's like it never happened. So just a really tough week. In fact, I think the first time winless in college in years, maybe with us. But you just got to take it on the chin.
Just take it on the chin, and it just so happened that our 2 pro NFL losses we had in both the Gold Nugget and the Super Contest. So Gold Nugget 1-6 this week. Oh. Yeah, I know, right? I'm sorry. But whatever. I mean, it was
our worst week ever.
We had the Panthers. That one was over before it even started.
Was it? Okay, all right.
I mean, listen, the Cowboys just their offense was just it was crazy. It really was.
Carolina was winning, no?
In like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden, no. I mean, come on. I watched that game from start to finish.
No, I know. I watched it too. It was,
and while entertaining,
it
wasn't. The other one that we lost was why am I blanking on it right now? I got the
I know my favorite pick of the week won. That's for sure because it wins
the Ravens. Yes, you got your Ravens there. Oh, it was the Vikings. The Vikings, which this was on me because I had the Vikings. I wanted this game because of the +2, and I said that it was hard for me to go against Cleveland, but yeah, I got to take the home dog in this case. And,
yeah.
I mean, that game didn't even remotely go as I thought. I thought this was going to be, I was like, bet the over, bet the Vikings. And the next thing you know, it finishes up 14-7 and it's trash.
Yeah. I would say that, listen, I I would not go back and change anything because we could have. And so I don't play that Monday morning quarterback game.
Right.
But this past week was maybe the first time only in the Golden Nugget that I feel that that we should have picked another game for the Golden Nugget, because we sat here last Tuesday and I said my favorite pick was the Bears and that everybody was going to be on the Lions. And then the quarterback game started and I thought, all right, we'll just use them in the Super Contest and not the Golden Nugget. And that was that's the only thing that burned me on Sunday. When I was thinking, you know what? I mean, it came out in the Super Contest. They were the sixth. The Lions were the sixth most team taken. Of course, they lost. The Super Contest always loses. Number one most picked game, Tampa Bay. Of course, they don't cover. It's like clockwork every week. I knew the Lions were going to be taken a lot, and I knew they were going to lose. And it was 14-0 before you blinked an eye. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it. And even though Detroit kind of hung around in that game, that was a great line to take the Bears in that one. So we did get them in the Super Contest, but I am regretting not using them there and using actually Carolina there. I shouldn't have gone against myself there. And the line didn't even move depending on the quarterback. And here I was 2 weeks ago saying that if line doesn't move, I'm not worried. And I got a little worried. Stupid. Bad choice.
All right. Well, listen, that's the way it goes. We also won with the Seahawks, getting 3 against the 49ers. So again, 1-6 in the Golden Nugget. We'll turn that one around. 3-2 again in the Westgate Super Contest. So 12-8 over there. That's not bad. We were in the top 300 or top 350 actually in the Super Contest, and we'll move up in that one for sure. So all right, we push that away. We look ahead. Any college games that are catching your eye early? Because there are a few pro games that are kind of catching my eye, but talk college first.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the smaller games we'll get to later in the week, but the big game in college football this week is Iowa and Penn State, because this is sort of a knockout game, with the team winning being right smack in the playoff and the team losing probably on the outside looking in, and Iowa's a very small favorite in this one. So, look, based on taking the public games last week, not sure that I'm going to dive into that game this week. And then the other game that, by the way, may be the worst pick of the season, I want to say. Honestly, the worst pick of the season, because this week Georgia plays Auburn, and that's 2 ranked teams, and Georgia, again, is 14-point favorites. But I am not going to make that mistake again going against Georgia. Oh, my gosh. They destroyed Arkansas. It
was horrible.
That game in particular, of all of the games that we've picked in September and October, was the only game that was over in the first 2 minutes of the game. It was done. It was 14-0. I saw no hope. Even Army came back a little bit in that game, being a big favorite. I thought, it's going to be tough for Army because they run, but it's not the end of the world if they're down a little bit. But that Arkansas play was, oh my gosh, just such a disaster. But this week, Georgia plays Auburn. They're 14-point favorites. Maybe this is a letdown spot, but they've been destroying everybody this year. So I'm not sure about that either. But I would like to talk about some of the NFL games coming up, because I do think that there's some interest. And also, let's touch, if you wouldn't mind, on Thursday night game too, because I do think that one is interesting as well.
I don't mind at all. Why would I mind, Craig? Just because there's a Yankee Red Sox game going on right now?
Everyone's watching us right now, right?
Yeah. Nobody's watching us right now. Hi, everybody. Let's get into it, man. There are a lot of there's some really interesting home dogs. We've got a game in London. Yep. The primetime games have all sorts of marquee matchups.
Yes, they do.
Going on, including Thursday night. Let's talk about that. Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, Rams, Seahawks. It's in Seattle. They're a home dog at, getting 2.5. I know you and I, we always tend to drift towards these home dogs. It's crazy. I'd love to know your lean on that before I even say a word.
Sure. Well, first of all, when it comes to Seattle, I usually rely on you. So I will start with that.
Which is why
you're pretty good with Seattle in general. If I need a Seattle pick, I know where to go. This year, I'd be your Bears guy, but which is not great. It's not a great thing to say. I will say the one thing that let's listen. We've taken our lumps here. We were 1-6 last week in one contest, 3-2 in the other. But let's start giving us some credit for the things that we've recognized thus far this season. Before we get to that game, I think we've nailed the Broncos, right? We have nailed the Broncos for exactly who they were, right? Like, perfect. Take them when they're at home. Don't take them now. Like, I mean, we definitely deserve some credit for, like, piece by piece as this has gone along with them. Now I'm not even interested in them anymore because I just know that they're going to head for a free fall. But that's one thing. The Rams is really interesting because my opinion on this is that last week, if you had to make me decide between those two teams, Rams and Arizona, transparently speaking, 100% would have taken Arizona last week. And not because I'm a big Cardinals fan. I'm not even a fan of them. I think they're going to fall back again. But a horrible spot for the Rams coming off that huge win against Tampa Bay. You just knew that even if they won, they could not do what they did the week before again against them. So I did like that play. So when I look at it, Howard, I'll be honest with you, it screams to me to take the Rams on Thursday night because, again, you're getting them at a low point. You're taking Seattle at a high point coming off their win last week. So it does kind of tell me a little bit that I do think the Rams win, but you are much better than Seattle on knowing where Seattle is at than I am. So my lean would be the Rams this week.
See, and I thought you were going to fight me and you were going to insist on the home dog here. Not even the fact that Chris Carson suddenly didn't practice today and he's got a bit of a neck issue, but for the exact same reason that I'll tell you this, I am not going to be afraid to take the Chargers as a home favorite anymore. It is a different team.
It looks like it.
It is a different coach. It is a different, like everything about the Chargers right now has me being more confident in them. Stafford under center with McVay, with the Rams offense. You're getting Darrell Henderson back. This is a different team. And as much as you could say, about Seattle and the home field advantage, their defense is not good. They were able to best the 49ers, who still don't, can't sort themselves out with their running back situation. And, if Deebo Samuel isn't completely ignored and left wide open out in coverage, they don't have that back-breaking touchdown that just crushed Seattle's soul. So I am with you here on the Rams on the road. It's a different. These are two different teams than what we're used to.
Yeah, I think so. I do. I think so. I actually, I don't know. Like, if it wasn't Thursday night, I may consider using this as one of our plays, but it's just too dangerous using a Thursday play. And no one in the Super Contest is using Thursdays. It's like 3% of the crowd is using it. So because they don't want to take a chance on a player being out Sunday, and I totally get that.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, we're both leaning the same way.
Sure.
With the Rams minus 2.5. I'll leave it at that.
A couple of other games I want to get to just because I think that they are interesting. I want to start off with and get your opinion on this game. Packers, Bengals. Really, really interesting line, I think, on this game, Howard, because who is going to take Cincinnati +3 at home against the Packers? I don't think anybody, right? Like,
I am.
I mean, Green Bay only 3? Like, is 90% of the money going to be on Green Bay? Who in the right mind would take Cincinnati? I mean, listen, sometimes the public favorites win, but when I saw that line this week, I thought it looks just way too easy, right? Like, the Packers look so easy in this game. At Cincinnati, you kidding me? And by the way, the Bengals did not play great against Jacksonville, but I got to tell you that in terms of the Super Contest this week, that is going to be one of the most picked games, 100% Green Bay. So I don't know what your thought is on that, and I don't even think Cincinnati's all that great, but that was the one that stood out to me.
No, Joe Mixon might be out. We don't know what's going on with him. Oh, but maybe T. Higgins comes back and he plays. Listen, Green Bay. Jair Alexander got carted off with a shoulder injury. I don't know what his status is going to be for this game, but Green Bay's defense is not good. Like, you take Jair Alexander out of that secondary, and it really is a problem for them. They don't handle the run well. Whether it's Joe Mixon or Samaje Perine is irrelevant to me. One of the things that we haven't seen Cincinnati do this entire season right now, I mean, 4 weeks in, has let Joe Burrow throw the ball 30 times, 40 times. We haven't seen it at all. They've been doing a very run-heavy, safe scheme. And I think not having Joe Mixon and possibly getting T. Higgins back turns that around. I saw this line. I said the exact same thing. How in the world are the Packers only favored by 3 points? They're begging you to take the Packers. And while, yes, this will be the most highly picked game in the Westgate Super Contest, and you and I are going to take it too, but we're taking the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll take Cincinnati in this one.
Have to.
I mean, the line just tells you the story. You know, it's really for me not about the teams. And look, I would love for Mixon to play. I would love for T. Higgins to play. I think those things are important, but it's just the line that's telling you that. A couple of other games of interest to me: Dolphins at Bucks. Another horrible spot for Tampa, coming off a huge win on the road at New England. Short week. But can you talk yourself into taking Miami after last week? I don't know that I can. You know, I mean, it's just they looked so bad against Indianapolis. So normally, like if Tua was there and they were even getting 8 or 9, I think I would run to take the Dolphins in this spot. But oh gosh, Brissett has just played so bad. I don't know. I can't do that.
They have not looked good. I definitely, that's not a game that I'm going to want to touch. No. What about? Let me ask you. Here you go. Titans 4-point favorites over the Jags. You got the Urban Meyer scandal, which I don't know. Does that affect the players at all? Or do the players not care? You know?
I could only take Tennessee here. I could not take. And again, I was wrong. I thought Jacksonville was actually going to be decent, and I think you're buying so low right now on Tennessee losing to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. I don't think Tennessee is good at all. But this is a great buy low on the Titans here, just assuming. But I don't know. I mean, can they stop anybody? Like, I mean, if the Jets put up 20-something on them, what is Jacksonville going to do?
So that's what I'm saying here. Jacksonville, this is why what I want to know about is, like, what kind of an effect this nonsense is going to have on the team. Because, you know, listen, they lost DJ Chark, but Trevor Lawrence, you look at the first half of that game against Jacksonville. The second half, obviously, there were no adjustments made, and that's just, you know, that's a successful college coach who thinks he's got the game in hand and isn't worried about making any adjustments to, you know, the opposition. And I think that's a horrible thing. But Trevor Lawrence, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, who I've never been a huge fan of, he stepped up in that game. You had Dan Arnold, the pass-catching tight end who you brought back. You're running the ball with James Robinson 15 times in a game. That's something that needed to happen. So I look at this and I say, can the Titans defense stop anybody on that? And, you know, is this 4-point spread here? Is that just them saying, well, it's Derrick Henry, he's going to get 30 carries, he's going to rush for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. Definitely one that we'll look at throughout the week and see which way the line moves. But it's hard to back Jacksonville.
Yeah,
and I don't know that the players, Howard, are all of a sudden just going to rally around Urban Meyer. You know, like that's not something I see either. So I would be a little concerned there. So Arizona's 4-0. They are 5.5-point favorites over San Francisco. I watched Trey Lance play last week, and it reminded me a lot, Howard, I talked about this on my show, of Vince Young. That's who it reminded me of, especially in the first year. Drop back, look for one guy, you said it, Debo, right? And if it's not Debo, run around a lot and just run up the middle, you know? Like, I mean, you know, this line actually is sort of feels like it's dragging you to take San Francisco, and I don't know that it's the right side. I don't know. I don't think Trey Lance is ready, and he cannot play like that. This reminds me of when RG3 was like running up the middle all the time and getting smashed. But Lance looked really shaky, man. Like, I don't know, maybe their offense. I don't know, is their offensive line bad? But it seemed to me like he had no idea of who he was going to throw the ball to. Was Juszczyk was to his right, and then he would like almost throw to him, and then he would look for Debo. If he wasn't open, it was like, all right, I'm taking off. But there were like guys right in front of him, Howard. Like he was like running backwards. It was, again, Vince Youngish. That's what it reminded me of.
Well, it's a horrifying comparison.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. If you're a 49ers fan, the last thing you want to know is that your team traded up. Your team said that they were trading up for Mac Jones for months and months and months.
True.
They turn around and they grab Trey Lance, and he ends up being the next Vince Young.
Vince Young at the beginning looked like he still was going to be a star with the Titans his first year, and then even going into his second, he just never was able to be a great passer. And by the way, Vince Young had a fantastic arm, won a college football championship in Texas, like did all the right things. But watching Vince Young play and watching Lance play, and Lance could progress and become a great quarterback for sure, but that is exactly who I was thinking of, because I remember when Chris Chandler got a concussion, and then Young came in and just kind of took over for the rest of the season, and it was like lost in space, but the guy was running for like 1 million touchdowns. I think I had him in fantasy too. It was like running for like 3 touchdowns a game. So backdoor is the only thing I'd be worried about if I took Arizona -5.5 there. But, dogs are still covering. Road dogs are still covering. Speaking of which, Sunday night, Buffalo and Kansas City. That's probably the best game of the week. Kansas City -2.5.
Easily the best game of the week. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this game turned into a pick'em closer to, closer to it. If I had to take a lean on this one here, I would probably lean Buffalo, because I think they have more to prove. They have, it's a great team. It's a great offense. I think they know that they need to learn how to beat Kansas City in Arrowhead if they're going to, make the playoff, not just make the playoffs, but like get to the Super Bowl here. I think Kansas City, they're feeling good. They just came off of 5 touchdown passes. I mean, if they're so confident, why is Josh Gordon coming up from the practice squad? It tells me that if somebody shuts down Kelsey, they don't really have much confidence in Hardman, Byron Pringle, anybody outside of Kelsey and Tyreek. So, and I don't like their defense very much either. So I'm gonna lean Buffalo with the points.
Yeah, I think I could go along with that. Yeah. How about New England? I guess we could do a couple more. How about New England laying 9 at Houston this week? Houston looks done now at this point. What's going on with Tyrod Taylor, by the way? I haven't even heard his name.
He's on IR.
Oh, he's on IR. Wow. So it's definitely Davis Mills again, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Can New England...
Another battle of the rookie QBs here, huh?
Can New England... And basically, New England would have to win, like, what, to cover this one? What would you say, 19-6 or something like that?
Yeah, see, that's the problem with New England and this kind of a point spread, because they're not about that. These aren't the run the score up Patriots anymore. Right. Like, this was like they played their best game, against Tampa Bay, and they fell just short. And they only scored 17 points. And I like what I saw in Mac Jones. He just doesn't have the weaponry. Like, that's the thing. He doesn't have a single playmaking pass catcher or a single playmaking running back. This team is as blue collar as you can get. And while, yeah, I think that they can grind it out, I just 9.5 points, even though Texans don't have anything either.
Yeah.
But
true. True. All right. Denver at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh -1. If we knew Teddy Bridgewater was playing in this game, would we take Denver here? I mean, I think I could be talked into that. The line is telling you Denver's winning the game.
The line is telling you that Denver's going to win the game, and Pittsburgh has been a huge nightmare of a disappointment. How about this over/under of 39.5?
Is that the total in that game? Oh my gosh, an NFL game now with under 40?
I've never seen an over. I mean, I did back in 1910 when the Chicago Leatherheads were taking.
Right, I remember. I was there. Me, you, Lenny Melnick, we're all there.
Me, you, and Lenny Melnick were all there.
That sells.
Right. I've got no interest in it. It's a pick'em game, and I have no interest in either team.
All right.
How about the Washington
Panthers.
football team? How about the Washington football team as home dogs against the Saints?
I hate New Orleans. Man, I could take Washington in this one.
I could take Washington too, and I'm not thrilled about it, but
New Orleans, man. Oh my gosh, they look terrible.
If Washington can zone in on Kamara, what else do they have?
Winston looks terrible. I mean, I don't. What was the Saints' plan going into this season? Whatever it was, it's not working. Like that first game, they looked really good, and since then, ooh,
it's been horrifying.
I mean, to lose to the Giants and still be favored, I think I'm with you here on Washington. Yeah, and Washington's defense is just, I don't know what's going on with them, but
yeah, it's really bad right now, right? Yeah. Like,
if we could get a 3 on that, what's it, 2 right now?
It's 2.5 right now. If I get a 3, I'm happy.
If you get a 3, I think I would be interested. But I would be taking. Yeah, see, the thing is interesting. I was thinking, like, we talked about Cincinnati, we talked about Jacksonville, Washington. Can you imagine we take those 3 teams this week? That's nasty. Can't do that.
That would be what are you talking about? That would be our perfect picks.
The worst teams in the league.
I don't want to touch the Eagles and the Panthers.
No.
I mean, I'll side with the Panthers only because I think the Eagles are lost. I think Sirianni is lost right now as a coach.
Dallas Giants. If we take Dallas, we are 100% losing that bet. We're 100%.
100%.
We are if we take Dallas, we are going to lose. The question is, are you going to try and talk me into taking the Chargers -1.5 at home against the Browns?
It's a tough one.
That's tough. That's tough.
I need some more time to think about that.
These games I feel like these games are tough this week, man. I feel like
really. See, I thought this past week was tougher
in the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't know. I felt like we saw everything correctly, man. Like we got a couple wrong, but I don't know. I feel like we were on the right side of most of our thought. I feel like this is. I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit tougher. I definitely think the Giants are the right side between that Giants-Cowboys. I mean, why is the line? The line should be 36, right? Like, shouldn't that line be like 20? Why is Dallas only 7 over the Giants? But we can't take all these stinky teams. Eventually, we're going to get burned one of these weeks. I know we keep finishing above 500, but...
No, but listen, you know what? Here, if you want to, we're not locking in all of these stinky teams. Let's think about it here for a second. The Bengals... Okay, fine. That's a stinky team. We're looking at that. You like the Titans?
I don't know about that yet. I don't know.
Okay, good. Let's.
Washington is not good if we take that.
Washington is a stinky team. Yes. Yes.
The Giants.
Oh, Arizona. We talked about Arizona.
Arizona against San Francisco. Yeah, I think Arizona may be the pick here. I think Arizona might. Because again. The line is so big against a good team like San Francisco that I feel like that's where everyone's money is going to be. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
Is San Francisco really that good of a team, though?
I think they are. I do. I think they are. But Lance did not look good, man.
No, he didn't. And their defense isn't what it used to be, man. It really is not.
So Arizona's going to go 5-0. Wow, that would be crazy if that happens.
Cash your tickets if you had that one, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to check back Monday night because that's all I got. Or Friday night. Monday night is Colts Ravens. Ravens -7. I would only take. I could not take Indianapolis. No, I could not do that.
No, I couldn't take them with what's been going on with them either. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, the Ravens.
I like Baltimore. Listen, we got Tucker on our side. If we take Baltimore every game this year. We're going to cover more than we're not. Because that guy never misses. He never misses. Except for in the playoffs at one time.
Right. Where we probably picked them.
We probably picked Baltimore. But, I mean, you know that in a game that's close to covering or not, and Tucker lines up for that field goal, you're like, okay, I'm in good shape.
You feel good about it. No doubt. No doubt.
Remember when we were fading? Remember when we took Indy? We were doing so well, and then Vinatieri was, like, missing all those field goals. Missing every field goal. So, anyway, that's it.
I do remember. Nightmare. Thank you so much for bringing up such a painful memory, Craig.
Well, sorry. I make you choke on air there.
I'm dying right now, right? I'm choking on my own spit. That's going to do it for us here.
Game that we're missing right now.
Right, I'm going back to the baseball game.
2-0 still?
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Big thanks to Matt Sells, our producer tonight. For Craig Mish, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Wager Alarm live stream. We'll catch you.